What's up, guys? It's me, Jeremy, and today I actually have an extremely interesting concept for you guys. And it's kind of something I came up with, but it's definitely something that I feel affects a lot of players in ranked queues today, and I call it anxiety lag. So what anxiety lag is when you start to feel, of course, those anxiety symptoms when you're playing an intense game, like, you start to get some like hot-headedness, maybe you start to sweat a little bit in your armpits. Some people start shaking, I know that. And those anxiety symptoms will have actually a huge effect on your play, and I call that effect of those anxiety symptoms on your play anxiety lag. And what it really does is kind of causes you to see everything in the game slowly. Like, you're probably going to be reacting a lot slower when you are starting to experience this anxiety, because I mean, it's ranked, right? You want to win, that's normal. Anxiety in ranked is really just kind of normal. It's a very competitive environment, and people are always trying their hardest, and you want to be able to win and perform your best and move up in the ladder, right? So anxiety is normal. Don't feel bad about having any anxiety. So knowing how to cope and deal with that anxiety so that your play is not affected by anxiety lag is really important. Especially, I noticed that anxiety lag has a huge effect in team fights, simply because like your head gets really hot, you kind of start shaking a little bit, and then you're sweating, of course. So that anxiety causes you to have like slower reaction times, a little bit worse decision making, just because you like jump to conclusions instead of actually like thinking something through, because you're like you're really focused, but then at the same time you're like kind of too focused, I guess you could say. And it creates a situation where you see things like slower than they actually happen, so your like brain doesn't really process them as fast as they occur, even though they're still happening. So you kind of experience this lag in the game, but it's like not really lag from like your computer or anything. It's lag, it's all in your head, so if you can figure out how to deal with that lag from your head, from the source of it, then you can take steps to removing the lag entirely, which is, yes, it's definitely a very hard thing to do. I mean, I know anxiety lag might seem a little weird to understand, but I'm sure those of you who have played a decent amount of ranked games will have at least a slight understanding of what I'm talking about, just because of how intense the environment is. So yeah, like I said, anxiety lag will cause you to have like slower thinking and slower decision making, which is where the term lag comes from the anxiety lag. And what you need to do is, first of all, you need to accept that it's happening. Like, if you're oblivious, like, oh no, I'm not affected by that, like, come on. If you're taking the game seriously and you want to win, you're probably affected by it in some way or the other. So the first thing, of course, is just like, you just gotta stop back. You just gotta take a little moment and just take a deep breath, just like that. And I know it sounds kind of stupid to do that in like the middle of a game, but I actually find myself taking like deep breaths every now and then. I think it's actually really helps the anxiety, the stress caused from the high competitive environment. And of course, you can't just like take deep breaths for the entire game. So I know a lot of people like to listen to music, myself included. I think listening to like some calm music, not really anything like heavy metal, but just like some easy rock or some like piano stuff, I think can help reduce anxiety lag, simply because it's so easy to listen to, and it really helps you like calm yourself down. One thing that I actually find, at least for myself, helps anxiety lag is actually duo queuing. And I know that sounds a little strange, like duo queuing it's kind of weird, but just having the person there to calm you down, and then since you're going to be assuming that you're on voice chat with that person, yes, that's important to mention. You want to be on voice chat with the person you're duo queuing, just because like just having them there, like having someone to talk to, will definitely reduce your anxiety, simply because you have something to like do with your I'm not really sure how to describe it, but like you have something to do with I guess you could say the extra focus. Like, you're going to be communicating with them a lot more as well, and I think the communication that like you just talking to your partner will help you out a lot in terms of reducing the anxiety lag. And honestly though, of course, it is just all different for every person, right? So you want to think about like what calms you down, right? Like, I know some people maybe it's just like you rub your shoulders a little bit and that'll calm you down. Or maybe, yeah, maybe you're the kind of person that actually listens to like the super heavy metal music and that calms you down. But you want to think about what calms you down without distracting you. Like, okay, I could like rub my shoulder every like 5 minutes or whatever, and that could probably help a lot, but it's a little bit distracting, so I don't do that. I personally myself, I listen to music and I take deep breaths every now and then once I find myself getting a little bit overwhelmed from, especially I personally get hot-headed a lot when I get anxiety lag. My head gets really hot and it kind of feels like swollen, and my decision-making skills become like a little bit worse, and my reaction times also become a little bit worse. But I deal with it, like I said, through deep breaths and through listening to some easy listening music. But you really, of course, it's going to be different for every person, so you now have to find what works for you. And like I also mentioned earlier, you want to, the first and most important thing is to admit that the anxiety lag is actually happening. If you're just going to stay oblivious, you're not really going to get better, and you're still going to be affected by it. I'm pretty sure every player is affected by anxiety lag in ranked plays. Like, okay, yeah, if it's normals, yeah, you're probably not, some people at least are probably not affected by anxiety lag, but in ranked, I'm pretty sure almost everyone, at least if you want to win, you're affected by it in at least a very slight way, to the point where it is kind of noticeable on your play. Not necessarily like extremely noticeable, but I find myself sometimes I try to dodge a skill shot and I have anxiety lag, and then I see the play slower than it actually happens, and then I can't dodge the skill shot because of my anxiety lag, even though I should have been able to dodge that skill shot like perfectly fine. It was an easy dodge. But yeah, I think that's just about it. You just gotta first accept that it happens, find your personal source to remove it, and then hopefully you guys can stay a lot more focused and have a lot more fun in solo queue. So that's it for this video on anxiety lag. I'd love if you guys could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments. If you have any questions or you'd like to discuss this topic, I would also love to see you in the comments too. Please subscribe for more future content if you enjoyed this video, and it would also be awesome if you could follow me on Facebook or Twitter, of which I'll have links in the description, of course. And I think that just about sums it up. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.